Hold on. Now do you see my face? Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to, we're going to do some technical difficulties really quick, just so that way I know what I'm doing. So here, 1 second. But do you see the catalog? Okay. Well, let's fix that, shall we? Let's see. There we go. All right. How does that look? Does that look good? Are you sure? Check it again. Okay. It's gonna do something crazy in just a moment, but I know we're a little late. So when it goes back to small, let me know. Okay. Well, happy catalog day, everybody. Uh, Today's an awesome day. We get catalog day twice a year, and it's volume 2. So it's not necessarily the big book, but we still get a catalog. So welcome tonight. Today is the 12th of July, 2023. We're a little bit behind schedule, still working on how to do this whole live thing, but happy catalog day. My name is Will, and I'm just super happy for all those who are going to be tuning in tonight as we go through Lionel's 2023 Volume 2 catalog. So, with this, I have not seen any of the locomotives or rolling stock or sets or anything like that. When catalog day comes out, I know as much as everyone else in the hobby, everyone just posts on Facebook, or I get messages of, like, oh, hey, you're gonna love the catalog. I called my buddy Leap and Larry, and he called me and he's like, hey, this is a good catalog for you. So I'm wondering what that means. As you guys know, I'm big into Santa Fe. I'm big into Southern Pacific, Union Pacific. So I can only mean that. I mean, that means that something is in there that we're gonna like, right? So with all of that, we are going to start the review. And if you guys have any comments, you guys can post them in here in this like little comment section. And then what I will do is I'll just highlight it. And if you guys have any questions, please feel free to like let me know. Ask me anything that you guys want to ask me. And with that, let's get into the catalog. All right. So we still same normal thing, table of contents. So it's looking a little bit more than 74 pages. This is a great app. I recommend if you don't have the legacy like Cab 2 system. I actually just moved. That's on like an upcoming video. I just moved, and a friend of mine, he did not have a Cab 2, but he had legacy locomotives. So I told him about this app, and he loves it. So if you don't have the app, I definitely recommend getting it because it's always worth to have, especially with all of our locomotives nowadays having Bluetooth. Okay. So we're diving straight into it. All right, we're going straight into O gauge. I remember Volume 1 had a couple of really cool things up here. We saw the Santa Fe Northern up there, and I immediately got like crazy, like, oh, it's coming to the catalog. So we are getting to see the 280 consolidations. Okay. So this is going to be really, really cool. Let's see it. All right. Legacy Steam. Here we go. Oh, oh, what are these? Okay. F19 Pacifics. These are actually, wow, those are really, really sharp. Let's see. All right. These are really, really cool. Oh, wow. Lionel's doing, I'm pretty sure this is actually a previous release, but I don't think I've seen this since the TMCC catalogs, like 2005, 2004, really early. Um, I don't think I've seen these since then, if I'm mistaken, please just like let me know. But these are actually really, really cool. So here's like a little bit of the history on them. So they're mainly from the Chesapeake and Ohio. So we're getting some more Chesapeake and Ohio locomotives in the a couple of catalogs ago. We saw the green bars that are coming in from MTH's tooling. So this is just uh, more power for your guys' Chesapeake and Ohio fleets. For now, for me, the only locomotive that I have that's in my collection that is of Chesapeake and Ohio is the Greenbrier 614, which is from the MTH Protosound 1. So let me see what this has. So standard legacy steam, and so we're getting different length of tenders. We're getting a Vanderbilt tender, which is 25 inches, and then we're getting a standard tender at 24 inches. Minimum curve is 054, so that's going to be good for some of the smaller layouts that don't necessarily have 050 or 054, 070, 072, and this is an all new product. So if it's an all new product, I'm wondering if this is, I don't know if this is new tooling, because normally if there's new tooling, they put, like a banner saying new tooling up here. So this is actually really, really cool. So this is going to have whistle steam, but it also looks like these are specific, like the Sportsman. What do they call this? Okay, this is like with a gray boiler. But as you guys can see, they have these like really cool eagles that are in gold. So it looks like these locomotives are going to have some like cool trim pieces. Yeah, like you guys can see, like right here, there's no eagle on this one, but then on these three there are. So this one has like a Vanderbilt tender, and then that one has a regular. But this one has the C&O logo, and then Chesapeake and Ohio, when these two do not. Let's see what the price that we're at. $12.99. Hey, that's not a bad price for this locomotive, in my opinion. I know this locomotive is going to have a lot of separately applied detail. You're getting whistle steam. This is going to be a good locomotive. I wonder how big it is though. Oh, that's 25 inches with the tender and 24 with the Vanderbilt. Okay, so that's not a bad locomotive. That's actually just over 2 feet, and yeah, that's actually a really, really cool locomotive. Starting out strong. All right. Oh, that's sharp. Hold on one second. I need to get some water. That is sharp. Okay, so Lionel's been going pretty crazy, I would say, with their Halloween and their Christmas trains. So this one, the 310, what do they call this one? Let's see. The Halloween Pacific. That is pretty sharp. Okay, they have like a cool bat up here. This trim is awesome. The bat is up here as well, and then all this cool red trim, and then the spider web. That's awesome. This is going to be a really, really neat locomotive, and as you guys can see, it includes custom Halloween sounds. For those who have seen on YouTube, some of the locomotives that come from Lionel with these Halloween sounds, they go nuts with these, and the sound department at Lionel is awesome. Like a couple years ago for that whistle, they think they made like a wolf howling, and for the bell, it was like a cemetery or like an old church bell, and then it was like Frankenstein or Dracula as the conductor and engineer. Like that's sweet. This is going to be a great locomotive. And then coming down, man, that's beautiful. That is a sharp looking locomotive. So 1224. So this is the day before Christmas, so Christmas Eve, very similar to 1225. But yeah, that green is sharp. I mean, that looks very similar to the Southern's Crescent Limited locomotive. Like that is a beautiful locomotive. So you have the North Pole Central lines, kind of a little bit on New York Central. We have the snowflake up here, and then multiple snowflakes going down through the boiler. And I love how Lionel is doing this multicolor cab right here with this silver, white, and then also the red, and then the green, and then it extends all the way to this tender. Now, I will say, I personally, I think maybe it's just me. I'm a huge Vanderbilt tender guy. I would have liked to see the Vanderbilt tender on this locomotive, but who knows? Maybe there might be an addition or like a change to the catalog. But I'm always a big fan of these Vanderbilt tenders. But no, this tender is awesome. So these are going to be great locomotives. And then up here we have another Chesapeake and Ohio, circa 1929. Okay, so these are really old locomotives. So this is interesting because no Chesapeake and Ohio on the Vanderbilt tender. It has like just the large 492, and then right here on the cab as well. Oh, Pierre Marquette. Okay, so Yeah, Pierre Marquette must have had this locomotive as well. So again, difference is you have your Vanderbilt tender and then your regular tender, and then remember the changes to the length of the locomotive. And then R, F, and P. So it says Richmond and Washington. This is really, really cool. I like this paint scheme. I don't know. So I do not know a lot about this locomotive and this rail line. So if you know what the rail line is, please post it in the chat and then I'll highlight it for everybody. But this is a really neat locomotive. I like how it has all these cool trim pieces right here. And then another thing too, if you guys are taking a look, so just be mindful, on the air compressors on some of these, like you have the silvering, like silver color on the on these air compressors, and then like on some they have just a black. Also here's another thing too. When it comes to the number boards here, no number boards here. So it looks like Lionel is doing prototypical um, uh, road specific details. So that's actually a really great feature. Great job, Lionel. All right. So starting off really strong. Starting off strong with these F19 Pacifics. Awesome. Oh, okay, cool. We're gonna keep going. All right. So the George Washington. Now, I'm pretty sure that this is a re-release of a TMCC locomotive that came out of the George Washington. I'm pretty sure it was. So on this locomotive, Vanderbilt tender, it has the George Washington little add-on. All right, SP Daylight fan, Richmond, Fredericksburg, Potomac Railroad. All right, hey, thank you so much, SP. Yeah, he's talking specifically about this one right here for the viewers. So really appreciate it. Thank you so much. All right, let's continue. See, the more you know, like honestly, like within our hobby, there's tons of railroads that we just don't know. And that's a great thing about our hobby. A lot of people like different things. And if you know about it, just put it out in the chat. We'll highlight it. So yeah, I'm pretty sure this is a re-release of a TMCC locomotive, but Lionel's doing some great work. We'll start at the very front of the locomotive. So you have this silver on this, oh God, a feed water heater. I'm pretty sure because I've seen some locomotives that have these gigantic feed water heaters up at the top of the locomotive. But then you also have a, like an outline of George Washington. You move down, you have the silver color on the air compressors right here. And then moving towards like the cab, these white walls on these on the driving wheels, the front trucks, not on the trailing trucks. And then you have your silver, and then the white walls on the deck, the like the walkway and everything like that next to the jacketing and the boiler. And then it continues on. So then you have Chesapeake and Ohio, and then the George Washington, and then we go down. So this is 491, and then this is 492. But this says with a C&O tender. So, okay, so that's the difference. If you take a look, you have a big C&O right here. And then when you scroll up, no C&O on this one. So that's the difference between the two. And obviously 491 and then 492. But you still, oh, here's something too. These silver streaks on the feed water heater. And then also no feed water heater straps right here. These trains are not cheap. This is an expensive hobby. Don, you are completely correct. It is a very expensive hobby. However, we love our trains, and I mean, you guys can see, like that's mainly our my post-war stuff. And but I will say, like for this kind of locomotive, that's actually a pretty nice price, and you're getting whistle steam, and Lionel is going into a lot of cool detail with these locomotives. But yes, we have seen in the past where there's been a steady incline with all of the prices of Lionel. I think one product specifically that I've seen that has gone up significantly is the 21-inch passenger cars. That is one that you've seen just a dramatic increase. So you get the two locomotives, right? And then now you're going to be taking a look at these 18-inch passenger cars. So Lionel has a 2-pack right here. So you have your 2-pack A, which is your combine. Like this is your front part of the baggage car. And then you have just like a regular, or not a baggage, like a regular coach. And then package B, which is 2 more coaches. Package C, again, 2 more coaches. Now, this is something that everyone has to pay attention to, right? So if you're thinking about getting a passenger set, it is my how long have you been in love with trains? Oh my God. Hey, Mom. Hi, Mom. Wow. Okay. Hi, Mom. My mom is in the chat. Oh, I love you, Mom. Wow, that is awesome. Well, my mom would definitely tell you that I've been in love with trains since I was a baby. I mean, and Mom, this hobby just keeps a grab onto us. But I love you, Mom. I hope you continue to watch this. Thank you so much for tuning in. Love you. Um, wow, that just made my night. That's awesome. So back to the catalog. So these sets, it is my recommendation that you get the Station Sounds Diner car. I cannot tell you, when I purchase a set and I don't get the Station Sounds Diner car, I will religiously look for on eBay, Train World, Gorbatsky's, Legacy Station, all of the different stores, just looking for Station Sounds. And uh, now we know your last name. Well, no, that's not my last name. That's not my last name. um, let's see. Hold on. No, that's not my last name. But in a future video, what I'm going to do is a video highlighting the locomotives and cars and structures that I just do not have. And I can tell you one Station Sounds car that I'm looking for is the Napa Valley Wine Train Station Sounds Diner car. So it is my recommendation. If you are wanting this set and you've been waiting for Lionel to come out with it, do yourself a favor and get the passenger cars, because you're not going to regret it, in my opinion. I know it's a little expensive, but if that's like what you want, you're going to want to you're going to want to have that locomotive pull the passenger cars, and it'll be awesome. And also the sounds, when Lionel makes these Station Sounds Diner cars, they are phenomenal when it comes to their sounds. A 2662. Oh, hey, this is interesting. Okay. Oh, this is a really, really cool locomotive. 2662. This is a new product. This is Oh, are they coming out with Western Maryland Scenic? No way. Oh my God. If they come out with that, maybe it's on the next page. We're not going to get too excited. And I know there's a huge following on that locomotive. Okay. So back to it. All right. So new product 2662. All right. So we have Denver Rio Grande, nickel plate, Northern Pacific. Oh, I don't want to butcher that. Weyerhaeuser, maybe? Weyerhaeuser. We'll go with that. Weyerhaeuser Timber Company. Okay. And then Norfolk and Western. Okay, so let's take a look at some of these, the differences between some of these locomotives. So we come over here, just taking a quick peek. So immediately we see you have your air compressors on the front on the nickel plate road. Denver Rio Grande, no air compressors. So that's kind of like a bare locomotive. You're going to see color changes. Like this is Denver Rio Grande's. Oh, so Toby. Okay. If they hinted it, maybe it's going to be on the next page. So yeah, I mean, this Denver Rio Grande, like green, I really like what they did on the tender over here. Moving down over to the nickel plate road, you have the nickel plate road black, and then the white walls. And then we continue down. Okay, so looks like all of these will have the number boards in place. The only thing that's different is this air compressor that's on the front. And then you have some other detailing like the numbers right here. And let's go over here to the Norfolk and Western. So one locomotive that, hey, what's going on, Train Wild? What's going on? Welcome to the video. We're just now in the 2662. So Lionel hit it out of the park when it came to the, was it the 2664 Class A's? And a lot of people really enjoyed, I'm pretty sure it was the as delivered paint scheme for the Vision Line locomotive. So this is something that's really cool. and you can see like there's some added detailing in the inside the coal area for the tender. I'm wondering if this specific locomotive didn't have the um, what do they call it? The tender roof. I'll be honest with you guys. I am not a huge fan when it comes to, not a huge fan. I love Norfolk and Western. Um, but oh, doghouse. We're thinking doghouse. Okay, got it. That's what it was. I'm wondering if they're going to include a doghouse, or if this prototypical locomotive had a doghouse, or if this even was a prototypical locomotive. Let's see. We'll continue on. Okay, there it is. I don't know if that's necessarily the right picture, and that says 1303. So for everyone that's in the chat, I recommend going to Google, just Google image, and then looking up a picture of this. Lionel did a good job, and I can see that they had this. That's one thing that's different. Well, no, this one has it too. This builder plate, like right here, not builder plate, but like the like on the front of the boiler front, like the number. This one looks a little bit different than the prototype, just a little bit. But again, with like Lionel, um, you can't add everything, like all the road specific detailing to like one locomotive, but still a great locomotive. If you're an NNW fan, definitely recommend that. And then you have your Weyerhaeuser Timber Company locomotive here. All right. So it was already in the chat, Toby. Oh, it's a timber lumber company. Okay. Let's see. Next page. Oh, there it is. Look at that. All right, Lionel, I'm gonna tip my hat off onto you. You guys are listening to people in the hobby, and if there's a steam locomotive that comes out and it's restored, we want to see it in our layouts. So great job, Lionel. Let's see. So road specific detail, and wow, this is a gorgeous locomotive. Now, when it comes to Western Maryland, I'm not gonna say I'm not a fan. I don't know much about the Western Maryland, but I know about like the scenic route. And then when it blew up on the train community, like that there was an articulated 2662 that was restored. And great job to that historical society over there for restoring 1309. So yeah, see, we've received dozens of requests to bring 1309 and her consist to O scale since her restoration. The wait is finally over. While the steam locomotive is in its prime attraction, of course, we've completed her with 21-inch passenger cars, including a Station Sounds dome car. All right. So, like I said earlier, if you're in the market for this locomotive, I recommend just getting the whole set. That's just my full recommendation. And when you're just a diehard fan of like a railroad or like a specific locomotive, like for me, this 2926 that just came out in the last catalog, I knew I was going to get it immediately. The 1309, if you're into it, just get it. So it's going to be built to order too. That's going to be another thing. So there's not, normally dealers will have like a little bit left on like as needed. But if you want it, put your pre-order in. So starting here at the front, you have your air compressors, and then Lionel looks like they're getting the paint detailings correct. The tender looks good. Now, again, if you're into this railroad and this locomotive, this is going to be an awesome one for you. Now, this station sounds, it's not a station sounds, but it's a sound dome car. My friend Leap and Larry, he has some of these dome cars. I think one for the Santa Fe, and the sounds are incredible. And just these are really, really neat locomotives. And, Lionel is also doing a great job when it comes to these short lines. Like they came out with the Carolina and West, like that purple looking one that came out a couple catalogs ago. And this is a great set if you're wanting this set. Let's see, Toby, makes sense as to why they would do as it. Yes. Okay. Hey, so Toby, I completely agree with your comment, right? 2926, they just did that awesome first run. I think it was like a mile, but it's still, she moved, which is amazing, especially for people who've been following for this like for 20 years. And And then now this locomotive. So as a steam locomotive gets restored, you know, hopefully we see it in the catalog. So 1309 was here, and now 2102 out of the Blue Mountain Reading is next. So I really hope that they do bring those back. Hey, Jake. Hey, Tori. All right. Sweet. Hey, great to hear. Great to see you. Awesome. Awesome. Great to see you guys. Heck yeah. All right, so we've talked a lot about this, but again, so road specific detailing, whistle steam, and these awesome cars. I mean, and also that green is really, really sharp. These are, so this is something that's really cool with these 21-inch passenger cars. They have those kinematic couplers, right? So on like tightish curves, like they do extend out, but like on my Union Pacific ones, I wish that I can get my hands on these diaphragms. So Lionel coming out with these diaphragms on these 21-inch passenger cars, it really closes the gap between the two, and they look super, super nice. Let's see. That is actually a really cool little detail that they put here in the paint. Yeah, this is going to be a knockout. This is going to be great. Great job, Lionel. Okay, so consolidations. Oh, the consolidations are coming back, and that one looks really, really cool. Oh, this Colorado Southern. All right, let's get after it. So I'm pretty sure the consolidations were either 2 catalogs ago or last catalog. My buddy Larry, he just got, or he's had a I think it's a 280 Baltimore and Ohio that came out of Pat Smith's trains, I'm pretty sure. And that one's really, really sharp. So let's see. Standard Legacy, you get, kinematic drawbar. Okay, so the kinematic drawbar. So we see the kinematic drawbar on the Milwaukee Road 261, the S3 Northerns. We saw it on the Vision GS series, and now these are coming here. So this is good. Lionel is bringing and closing the gap with these steam locomotives to make it a little more prototypical. And with that, as they go through curves, it widens, and then as it returns back to a straight, it looks more prototypical. So this is great. Don't forget Black River and Western number 60. So I'll be honest with you, Toby, I don't know where Black River and Western is. I don't know where this is this a, please post in the chat if this is a working steam locomotive, because if it is, that's awesome. Like that's just another locomotive I need to like learn about. So let's see. And these are multiple tenders. So you have 19.5 with the USRA, 19 with the 080 tenders. Okay, so they're bringing back the 080 tenders, and then 17 3/4 with the short tender, and whistle steam and road specific detail. So Lionel, you coming out with these road specific details. This is just fantastic for us modelers and for us in the hobby. Great job. I think this is a neat locomotive. This has like kind of like a 90 vibe for me. So this really cool headlight right here, this like the white walls on like the coupler cut bar, and then the pilot. You move down, so we do have whistle steam. Who knows? I mean, Lionel, yes, New Jersey. Okay, so I guess it is a locomotive that's working in New Jersey. All right, sweet. I know that Lionel sometimes surprises us with extra features, so maybe they might add the swinging bell. Who knows? That would be pretty sweet. But there's a lot of stuff that goes in these locomotives, and I mean that would make this locomotive go from here to there. All right, but let's keep going down. Oh, and it's detachable. Okay, this is a pretty cool looking locomotive. Colorado and Southern, number 641. That is sweet. That just looks cool. Now for my subscribers out there and viewers out there who have seen this, if you're in the hobby, you've definitely seen lots and lots of trains, and it was like the best video when you were growing up. I'm pretty sure that either this locomotive or something like it was on lots and lots of trains, so that's how I immediately like recognize this locomotive. To So this is pretty cool. Remember the Black River and Western switcher passenger set from the other catalog. Okay, I don't remember the switcher. I'll have to take a look at that catalog to like just connect the two together. I'll have to take a look at that for sure. Um, so back to the catalog. This detachable snowplow, that's pretty cool. It's anytime Lionel makes something like detachable, like the 844 a couple years ago when it had the Lionel lines like for the LCCA excursion, that was incredible. Um, what's another detachable? Sometimes like smoke deflectors. I know on the big boy that's coming out, those are like attachable and detachable ones. But yeah, this is or the one that I have. I have the Valley Flyer, like those like side pieces. That's really really cool. So I kind of like this one just with that snowplow. This is cool. Okay, so now we're seeing some different tenders, right? So these are these longer tenders, and then now you have the 080 tenders. Now you guys can see. So remember in the 080s, we had a wired tether because it was an 080, it was a smaller locomotive. Since this one's in a consolidation, they are putting in the IR sensor with this one. And then check. So here's some other differences. So 080 tender. This is I'm pretty sure like either the larger or the USRA. No, this is the USRA because that has to be the short tender. All right. So some details here. Headlight differences. So you have what's this DMIR? So I'm pretty sure that's a prototypical headlight. You have the number board here, and then on the sides, moving down, you have your red cab windows right here, DM and IR 332, and then this 080 tender right here. So it looks like for these first three, there's not a price difference between the three of them. Sometimes, like with the L1s, like the Mikados, Lionel for the Santa Fe one, that was like $50 more than the other ones. So there's no difference in price on this one. So you get some water. All right, Grand Trunk and Western, number 2683. Now this looks like number what's the one that just came out? Number 19? I think Strasbourg or no, Strasbourg 1989. Strasbourg 89's look tender. Okay. So yeah, we have again more differences here. And I think the pilots are actually different, right? Maybe not. No, the pilots are the same. So different boiler front up here. Then we have white walls on each of the drivers and then the trucks. And those look like dark inside rods. And then you have whistle steam, and then this must be the shorter tender. Now, if you guys take a look, I'm wondering if Lionel is going to put these chains on them. Maybe this is coming from MTH. MTH used to do a lot of chains on their trucks of their tenders. So let's hope that this like little detail comes out. And then Toby, you're saying DMNOR is also still in operation. Really? Okay, Lionel, you're doing good. So yeah, Lionel is listening to people in the hobby that if there's a short line or like a locomotive that is in operation, they're bringing it to O gauge. That's great. Awesome. Heck yeah. I have one locomotive that if we saw it as I think it's Nevada Northern number 40. Again, if you're a kid growing up in the 90s, you must have seen the video Grandpa Worked on the Railroad where they highlighted engine number 40 and there was an amazing song that went with number 40. I mean, my wife Catherine, we know number 40 just from the song. So if we saw number 40, I think we would get it just for the fact that it's on a song. Okay. So Lehigh Valley, number 911. So different this is a little different. This looks like a little bit of a higher set, right? I don't know, maybe it's the same. Different boiler front, and then different fonts, and then other this is different tender. Different tender. All right, Seaboard Airline, number 900. Okay, so this is the locomotive that was on the very front. So I'm not a Seaboard guy. I don't know the colors. and here's something crazy. I'm actually kind of colorblind myself. So looking at this, this looks like mint green. If this is not mint green, then please forgive me. Like, I do not know what color that is, but I do know that I think it was on the 460 10-wheelers. I think they did one in Southern, and people are calling it like the Kermit the Frog locomotive. I guess there was an issue with the painting and everything. So, but Lionel's been doing much better when it comes to the paint. So, this is going to be an interesting one. So, if you're a Seaboard fan, you know, I know Lionel's been doing their homework, and they're going to be taking a look at like the colors and everything, making sure that we get them right. So, these are cool. If you like these locomotives, these are going to be awesome. I gotta say, like, this is probably my favorite one with that detachable tender, or not detachable tender, the detachable plow. That's awesome. Okay. Oh, it's silver. Okay, okay. Hey, thank you very much. Like, because I'm not gonna lie, that looks, and Catherine could tell you, like, mint and me, I do not like mint. Oh, okay. Wow. If you're a Pennsylvania fan, you've been getting some great catalogs. Holy cow. They had the L1s, and then they had gosh, they just had one in their last catalog for more Pennsylvania. Here, I'm going to take a look at this really quick. Hold on. What was the one that just came out? These M1s are insane. Jeez Louise, look at, oh my gosh. All right, hold on. Just 1 second, everybody. Yeah, it looks silver. I think, again, guys, if it is silver, it probably is silver. Just my eyes. Okay. Let's see. I'm pretty sure these came out in volume 1. Yeah, so in volume 1, Pennsylvania fans got the I-ones, which was a 280, and now they are getting a 482. That is insane. If you're, oh, hold on. This is something that's really neat, and maybe it's just my eyes. All right, so let's before we dive in, let's just take a look at this, right? As a high point of Pennsylvania steam design. Okay. To reduce the speed of triple heading K4s. The M's found their way into freight service. Okay. These are really, really neat. So you're getting your standard legacy features, right? Whistle steam, and then depending, oh, wow. Okay, so this is a locomotive. Depending on which one you get is going to depend on the radius of curves that you're going to be able to go to. So that's really, really cool. So 072 for the 4 to 6 wheel tenders. Oh, so we're getting different trucks. That's awesome. And then 054 for 4 to 6, and then 072 is the 8 wheel tenders. Now, let's just take a look at these. Is it me, or do these look a little weathered? And is it me, or is it like this jacketing? This might be an MTH tooling, or maybe not. I do not know. I don't know. Hold on. This is an all new product. Lionel, you're doing great with these all new products. This has to. I'm wondering if this is a tooling from MTH, but this locomotive looks weathered, and the only reason I say that is because this jacketing on the locomotive and the boiler looks just like really dirty. And I know watching a lot of Norm's videos, he weathers his locomotives. This looks really weathered. Okay, so on 6810, we have a 4 truck tender. So this is 054. You're getting the this look polished side rods. Okay, so here's something for Pennsylvania fans. I know Pennsylvania fans really care about their Brunswick green. Like, every time I hear about Pennsylvania, it's Brunswick green. Like, it has to be like the correct shade. So if this is if it's also green, like, again, like my eyes, I can't really see it. If these are Brunswick green, let me know. Okay, so this is cool. Maybe this is one that was again, like as we see up here. So let's see. 3 years after some of these were for passenger. Yeah, a small percentage roster was equipped for passenger duties. So maybe this one down below, as you guys can see, different pilot. So this is a different pilot down here. And then check this out. So the white walls on the front trucks, and then they also have the white walls on the driving wheels as well. And then the polished side rods. And then look at that tender. Holy cow, with the doghouse. That looks sharp. That is a really long locomotive. How long is that? 30.5 inches. What is the big boy, 32 inches? That is a huge locomotive. Oh, that is sweet. Oh, that looks awesome. That's a great locomotive right there. All right, let's continue on. So Pennsylvania 6845 circa 1941. So now it looks like we're getting into like the more prototypical looking, locomotives. Again, they just look weathered. They just really look weathered to me. All right, actually, one thing I do want to see. So $15.99 for the big one, and $15.99 for this one. All right, so check it out, guys. $15.99. It looks like for each. Oh, the one at the bottom looks sick. That's awesome. That's a mean looking locomotive. So it looks like $15.99 for each variation of these Pennsylvania locomotives. Yeah, $15.99, $15.99, $15.99. Okay, I'm gonna get down to those ones in a minute. So I thought this one was the longest tender. I didn't even see this one. So this is 054. This one is 072. Holy cow. All right. So circa 1941. Ooh, this looks like a little different too. The text font is different. Okay. Again, I'm not a historian when it comes to the Pennsylvania, but these I will say when Santa Fe 2926 originally had the tender done, and it came in a font that was not how Santa Fe had it. They got a lot of people saying like, "Hey, that's not the right font," and then they changed it. Thank goodness. So Lionel, they have a great library and access to like books and stuff like that. So they're going to get the text right. So this is really interesting that they're doing different text. So we keep going down. So different pilots on these two. You see like there's like a cow catcher and not really on this one. And then here's something interesting too. Darkened side rods, polished side rods. All right. So here, those are some detail differences. This huge tender, which apparently is not even the biggest tender. That is a monster tender. Holy cow. Oh, here's something else that's different too. This the Dynamo is different. I'm pretty sure that's the Dynamo on the Pennsylvania ones. The Dynamo, they moved it down below the headlight, and then they moved the headlight up, and then they added this detailing. I don't remember. I'm remembering that Norm did a video highlighting a Sunset Third Rail M1, and then he actually 3D printed a part that went on this locomotive. Like his work's incredible, and what now we can do with like 3D printing, it's insane. Let's see. Oh, okay, so hey Toby, thank you so much. It's not MTH tooling, it's Lionel's tooling, and they altered it. Okay, hey, so that's really good that we're seeing products come from Lionel's tooling department, but they're making subtle changes to it. So that's great. That's really, really good. Again, this looks so weathered. It just looks like a weathered worked locomotive. So yeah, some really big detail differences in here, right? Darkened side rods, and then that massive tender with this doghouse, and I'm pretty sure that's a radio antenna. Like an older radio antenna, maybe. I don't know, guys. I'm not a Pennsylvania fan. I'm a Pennsylvania fan, but I'm not a historian. I don't know a lot about their locomotives. So if you know what this wire housing is, feel free to put it out in the chat. So you have 698 or 6918, and then 6888, circa 1955. And just starting at the very front, you have this really cool looking, cow catcher right here, and then very similar to this one. Yeah. Hey Toby, this 88. Wait, which one are you looking at? The 55. Yeah, this one. That one looks great. That one is a very sharp locomotive, and I'm pretty sure like this must be a passenger locomotive. It has to be, or like, you know, they altered it in some way to look passenger-like. But these tenders are huge. They remind me so much of the turbine tenders. Like they're just really long, or what's the 4444? I forgot like what they called that locomotive, but they just have these gigantic tenders. Wow. All right, so but all these 15.99, which is great because depending on like which one, it's all gonna be the same price. So Lionel, great job. Great job with road specific details. Nice. Oh, they're coming out with the sweet FEF3s are coming back. There we go. Yes. Oh, and you guys know I'm a UP fan. My dad worked for he retired at Union Pacific, so shout out to my dad. The FEFs are coming back, and they are coming back strong. Wow, look at these. All right, let's get into it. And you know, hey, we just had, you know, in the last catalog, we had the big boys. We just had the big boys in volume 1, and I was wondering if they were going to do this. I didn't know because this is going to be the third time since Legacy has been a feature, or like, you know, like Legacy as a system, that the 844 has came out. I have the very first rendition of it back in really far old Legacy with road number specific crew talk, which was fantastic. In my opinion, I don't think Lionel should have gone away from that, but you know, that's not for me to debate, like me to say, but I do think that this is going to be a win locomotive. This is awesome. I'm so excited. Yeah, do not miss an. Oh, okay. So check it out. See, and I think Lionel is here. Here's this too. So we've seen on the chat, and we've seen, you know, on, you know, eBay, OGR. We've seen it everywhere. When you want a locomotive and it's passed and everything like that, you'll see these crazy prices go for. They start off here like MSRP, or like a little bit below, like when it comes to pre-order, and then they just become super rare and just so expensive. Like the Vision Line Challenger, the hot dog. RBP put out a video like what's the rarest locomotives. That one is so expensive, and then with the matching Vision tender, that's an exceptionally expensive locomotive. So, but yeah, I'm gonna highlight this sentence because this is awesome. Don't miss another chance to add the living legend to your roster. I agree with that sentence 100%. If you're a UP fan, you don't have the 844, get this locomotive. You will not be disappointed. When you see this locomotive on your layout, it is gorgeous. It is a beautiful, monstrous 484. Now, here's one thing I'm wondering. People say that the older whistle on the first run of the Vision Line, or not Vision Line, the first edition of the 844 had a better whistle, more prototypical than the one that recently came out like 4 or 5 years ago, because they reused the Vision Line Big Boys whistle and just slapped it into an 844. I don't think that was correct, but I do know and slash have heard that they changed 4014's whistle to 844's whistle. Something's going on, right? But with the 5 whistles and everything like that, maybe they'll do like a little bit of different changes. But I'm really hoping, Lionel, please don't put a hooter in. Don't put a hooter whistle in this. Don't put the GS whistle. I would just keep it very strong to Union Pacific. So you can put the big boy whistle in there. See if you guys have the original files from when it came out originally in Legacy, and then just alter the pitch with the other ones. And then maybe, if you guys could, the original Vision Line Challenger whistle. That was an amazing whistle, and I think it could work for these locomotives. All right, so let's just get into the models, right? All right, gray and yellow. I'm going to say it. This might be a contender for pre-ordering, and I haven't even seen all the other ones, so who knows? Gray and yellow. So we're seeing road-specific detailing. So the smoke deflectors are accurate. We have smoke and whistle here. I like that they're putting the Mars light here, and I'm wondering with normal operation, either here's something else. Oh, I think I totally missed the fact that there's a hot dog. I think I was just so excited, I just wanted to get into it. If there's a hold on. We're getting a hot dog. What? A hot dog 844. Okay. Toby. That's gonna be sick. If you have a Challenger hot dog, you might didn't they do a Challenger hot dog, a Challenger brass hybrid Challenger? I don't think they did a Vision Line Big Boy and a hot dog. I'm not sure. Hold on. I do have the catalog from 2023 pulled up. All right, but let's get back into it. Oh, I think that this one. No, so they did not make a hot dog. Okay. I think this one is going to be it. That one, oh man, that is so pretty. This is the as delivered version of this locomotive. So no smoke deflectors. Um, so no smoke deflectors on this one. No safety Mars light. White walls on the front trucks. White walls on the driving wheels. I'm pretty sure these trailing trucks were Timken, and then they darkened all the Timken. I'm pretty sure. I don't know if these were roller bearing or if Timken. I'm pretty sure they were roller bearing, but they darkened these end caps on the sides. So white walls on here as well. And then let's see what else. So all this other detailing that's underneath the smoke deflectors is also visible. I don't know if that's the actual smokestack for that locomotive. Let's just take a look. Nope, that's Lionel. Yes, you did it right. Awesome. Okay, great. This is just a really interesting locomotive. That looks so sweet with the without the smoke deflectors. That's awesome. And then the tender, and it's also coal fired. So Lionel's been doing really well with their variations when it comes to steam locomotives. If it's an oil fired tender, they'll make it like the oil fired sound effects. If it's coal this is so weird, coal fired, then they'll put the coal fired sound effects. That's a really sharp looking locomotive, that one right there. So then we'll come back up here, 843. This is the gray and silver. This looks very similar to an old HO locomotive that I had way back in the day. Way back in the day from Bachmann. Ugh. That one was actually a super interesting locomotive because they made it look yeah, they did it with the brass Challenger. Yeah, exactly, Toby. With the hot dog, yeah. With Bachmann's, like, it was like a crazy huge large HO set, but it was an FEF, but they made it look like a Niagara with the headlights, and then it had a Vanderbilt tender. It was so strange. Okay, this also, I don't want to say also might be a contender, but if you're a fan of 844 and the steam locomotive, section of the Union Pacific, you will know that they do use parts on 838, 4 parts for UP 844. So that's a really sharp looking locomotive too. And then so looks just like 844, and then the silver end caps here. Now that is sharp. That is a really sharp looking locomotive. Holy cow. For 836. Man, that is a really sharp looking locomotive. And Lionel, this is cool too. What you guys are doing with these red walls on the front trucks, and then also the driving wheels, that looks sharp. That is a gorgeous locomotive. I like the black. You have the black oil bunker right here, and then the black water hatches right here. Okay, now let's see the Living Legend 844. So this is very similar to the one that I have. One thing I hope, and maybe Lionel will do, I don't know if they did on the last one, is when you go into emergency situations, you're on your, you're running on your layout, you hit the triangle button, it says come to a full stop. On some locomotives that have an emergency, light of some sort, they will go into like the red will pop on. I'm hoping with this one will be a Mars light. Wow, they're coming out with the FEFs. That's awesome. This 2023 has been great for Lionel. This is awesome. Great job. All right, let's continue after it. Yes. Okay, awesome. Lionel said they were going to come out with the auxiliary tenders, and they kept their word. Thank you, Lionel. Awesome. So now we're going to build. If you're a UP fan, now you can build your entire fleet. This is great. So I'm wondering if these are going to be very much similar to the Vision Line ones. So go perfect with the 844 and 4014. They're full legacy or as a non-powered, so you can mix and match. They include electrocoupler, backup light, rail sounds, include freight sounds, and special service dialogue, die-cast body, and trucks. So these are going to be really heavy. Wow. Okay, so features. Legacy control, freight sounds, fuel servicing dialogue when stopped, electrocoupler and directional headlight, and then no sound units like the dummy unit. It's basically just a car, right? So 10 inches, minimum curves 031. Wow. Hey, that is a bit of a, so you have 500 and then 350. So it's $150 difference between the two. So with the Jim Adams, this one I'm really hoping that Lionel does. So if you remember the first time that they did this one, they did where they just slapped, the United States flag on the paint. So it looked really curved. On the Vision Line model, it came as a separate piece that was magnetized or had a magnet on it that you actually put on the tender itself. I hope that Lionel goes the distance with that because that made the tender look amazing. It made it look so much more prototypical. And then the Joe Jordan. Okay, number 814. So the one that I have, it's the very first one. It says Union Pacific really strong. It came out, I think, in 2014. Remember they said something else something else that may be more. They said that with the Big Boy Superset. Yes. Oh, the only thing I remember that they said with the Big Boy Superset were those weird not weird. They were actually really cool military, like World War II cars. That's the only thing I can think of. I'm wondering if they did say, hold on. No, they did say, oh, if they're coming out with more cars, ooh, this catalog's insane. So yeah, these are going to be great. These are definitely contenders. And I mean, I have one. I need to look at what 4014's Excursion looked like. This might be a contender. All right, so your 18-inch passenger cars. These are the heavyweight passenger cars, 18 inches. So you have, this would go very, very well with this one up here. That is going to be a beautiful set. Or this one, or actually any of these. Any of these ones, if you're modeling like an older Union Pacific Contest, that's going to be great. So Pack A, you have your baggage car, just straight baggage. Then you have a coach. You have your combine. And just another Pullman coach up here, Pullman coach up here in Pack B. All right, so Pack C is another Pullman car, and then you have your observation car. Now, I wonder if Lionel is going to put an illuminated drum head on the back of the observation car. If not, great product that I recently just discovered. I'm going to pass this out to everybody. If you want to upgrade your observation cars with prototypical looking drum heads, or like for me, like I love Santa Fe. I wish that one of my observation cars said the Grand Canyon Special. Tomar Industries makes amazing drum heads, and I just ordered 2 of them. I have an L&N for my Did someone call me? No, an L&N for my Hummingbird, and then I have a Valley Flyer one for my Valley Flyer set because the one that they made with Lionel wasn't illuminated. Great product. I definitely recommend taking a look at those. And then again, your Station Sounds Dyno car. So if you're wanting this set, this is a must, in my opinion. I think it's a must. You're not going to regret getting your Station Sounds Dyno car. It just makes the locomotive and the set come to life. It just does. They're great cars. The Lionel, probably my favorite favorite 4 pages of this catalog so far. So great job. This is awesome. Okay. We saw Steam. Steam was insane. Steam was this was a great catalog for Steam. So great job, Lionel. We're going to be moving into diesels next. All right, let's see it. SD50s. These are actually, wow, those are really, really cool. Oh, that is the We Support Our Troops with the yellow ribbon. That is actually really, really, really cool. We're going to talk a little bit about that too. Okay, so new tooling. Oh, hey, new tooling. Really? All right. All right, Lionel. Nice. All right, so let's see. All right, so let's go into the features. So legacy diesel features, kinematic coupling or kinematic pilot. So for those who do not know what the kinematic pilot is, that is like it's a stationary pilot, and as like the locomotive goes in a curve, it pivots with the cars or locomotives that you point with it. 19 inches, that's a pretty big locomotive. And then 54-inch curve minimal. And they're coming out with super bases and non-powered ones. And then the smoke and light features as the powered. So even if you're getting a non-powered unit, it'll still smoke. And then the same thing with the super base. So this is cool. Let's just dive into the chassis. So this looks like maybe a heritage scheme, like, or maybe not. I don't know. But like those colors, man. So one locomotive that I have that I'm in love with is my T1 chassis steam special 484. It's just a gorgeous locomotive. And you know, those locomotives are just insane. So if they do the coloring right, those colors on that locomotive just pop. Like, so this is going to be really, really cool. So we see 650 for the powereds, and then 600 for a non-powered. So, but it's a super base, so that's not too bad. But for $50 more, you can get a powered locomotive. We scroll down to Rio Grande. These are really big, monstrous looking locomotives. I really like how they do this like checkered, you know, look, very similar to Burlington Northern kind of. So 5503, 5507 not shown, and then a super base for so 640 and 599. Oh, okay. So Missouri Pacific. So I know of some, you know, railroads that have UP looking locomotives, and this is like kind of one like Missouri Pacific, but it definitely does have the Union Pacific Herald. And hey, Dackman, hey, wow, you're on the video. Awesome. Let's see. Hold on. Let's see what you put. Please note, the Norfolk Southern is actually an SD40E, not an SD70. If you read the description, the SD40E was made with an SD50 and SD40 locomotive parts. Okay, so it's like a combination, like hybrid of the two. Okay, these locomotives, you know, these locomotives, they do look a little weird. I'm not gonna say like weird, but they look kind of interesting. Honestly, the one locomotive that keeps coming to my head when I see these are the tunnel motors, but the tunnel motors are so much smaller. But actually, Dackman, if I'm not mistaken, your main thing is Conrail. Wait, so hold on. Same with the Reading Blue Mountain. Note the XCSX. Hold on. Is there Blue Mountain and Reading ones on here too? Oh yeah, Reading and Northern. Oh, nice. Oh, fast freight. I thought though the BM&I Blue Mountain and Reading they were yellow and then it said Beeline on it. I don't know. This is interesting. But let's continue back up. So just some differences, right? So you see over here how it has the PTC antenna. Both look like they have, these two look like they have the added bells on the sides. No bell over here. And then no PTC antenna, except for, well, this is technically a PTC antenna, but this is a vertical one instead of horizontal. And then the horns are in the same spot. And then going back over here, this is very NS style looking, like when it comes to their antennas up here at the top. And okay, there's the PTC. I don't know or if that's maybe an air conditioning unit. I don't know. And then that looks like a PTC antenna on the side. And then they moved the horn, so no horn on the front. It's towards the rear. Okay, wow, that is a sharp looking locomotive. If you're a fan of NS, that's a great looking locomotive. All right, hey Dakman, if you're still in the chat, please tell me which one you're getting. I have a feeling, but I want to guess it in my head, and I kind of want to see what you're thinking in the comments. But I know you're a Conrail guy, so if you're a Conrail, I don't think we see enough Conrail locomotives that come out, but this is a sharp looking locomotive, and that blue is just pops. It pops right off the screen too, and it's going to be a great looking locomotive. This one has a really, really cool meaning. You know, the yellow ribbon. If you don't know what the meaning of the yellow ribbon, I highly recommend going on Google, typing in, you know, what does yellow ribbon mean. It's a beautiful story behind it. Well, it's not. It means something, and if you're in the military community, you know what it means. And this is a really really cool locomotive. We support our troops. I think this is going to be one of the top rated ones on this on these two sheets. This is going to be one that people, you know, pre-order quite a bit. And let's see, Reading and Northern 5018 and 5019. So okay, so check this out. One other thing too. Oh wait, hold on. The Lionel version has the wrong fuel tank. Oh, okay, Dak, man, I had a feeling. Yeah, this one is just that one. This one is a really really cool locomotive, and I think the meaning behind the yellow ribbon, it's very symbolic with people within the military community, but also with people that know what the yellow ribbon means. And this is going to be a great. You're going to love this locomotive. Great selection, Dak, man. But then you're seeing up here too. The Lionel version has the wrong fuel tank for the SD40E. Since it was only used for helper service, it had a smaller fuel tank. Okay. So with some differences within, you know, the SD4, well, so these are SD50s, I'll be honest, SD40Es and SD50s. I don't really know too much about them. I'll say this. My steam locomotive knowledge, way here. Diesel, kind of getting into this. I know F units, Alcos, SD70 Mac or SD70 ACEs, ES44s. I'm starting to get into like SD40s. Like I have a couple, or SD70s. There's the SD, like there's just so many different locomotives to keep up with. But yeah, those like subtle differences. Like if you know the locomotive, you'll see it like right away. And then what is Toby? What did you say? You're probably thinking of the NS Heritage. Wait, are they coming out? Hold on. Did you? Hold on. We're not there yet. Okay, SD70 ACs are coming back too. All right. Look. Oh, that one's sharp. Union Pacific one is sharp. That's awesome. Gotta like that one. All right, let's get after this one. All right. So standard legacy features 19 inches, 036. So for smaller layouts, these are great locomotives. And I got to say, out of all my diesels, I have a ton. I don't want to say ton, but like I have a lot of SD70s. I'm a huge Union Pacific guy, so that's mainly my mode of power is SD70s. And if you have shorter layouts or smaller layouts, this is a great locomotive that can, you know, maneuver through tight curves and everything too. These are great locomotives. You have my, you know, this is a great locomotive for sure. Yes, SD40Es are the NS rebuilds. The SD50 52s are the CSX rebuilds. Okay, so going back to this one, right? It looks like different railroads, from what I'm understanding from Toby, from your comment, different railroads put, you know, slapped on a bunch of parts together, and then it's like, boom, I have my locomotive. Then Conrail did the same, or CSX did the same thing, and then now I have my locomotive. That's kind of like what I'm feeling from that comment. So if you know those railroads and like what came with it, you're going to be able to pick up the differences pretty fast. So Jersey Central lines. This is a really, wait a second, hold on. Are these the NS heritage locomotives? In the last catalog, we just had the UP heritage locomotives. Are we now getting the NS ones? So someone in the chat, if these are the NS heritage ones, and I'm pretty sure they are. I'm pretty sure they are. I'm going to assume since the SC-78 will run on 036. I think so. I think so. So that's actually a really good point, Dakman. Um, one of my earlier SG70s had that same, wheel, so that way it didn't cause any issues. I'm almost positive that like you're on the right track. But yes. Okay. Wow. So if you're a Norfolk Southern guy, and just like how I was with UP in the last catalog or two catalogs ago or whenever, when the UP Heritage locomotives came out, I was like, oh, like you're in love. If you're an NS guy and you're waiting for these locomotives, these are the locomotives. You have to get these. Awesome. Okay, these are really sharp looking too. So Jersey Central, beautiful locomotive. Okay, I was just at Leaping Larry's house last week or 2 weeks ago. I had a whole week. If you saw my community, a whole week of just trains with great friends. Like Sam was there. Sam Wilson was there. We had Leaping Larry. We went to Johnny Dawson's house. We had Charles. We had Chain. We had an awesome train community that was out there, and we took a look at different SC70s. Lionel, I gotta. If there's one AAR comment that I can say, please fix how we can access this the controls, because if you have an SC70 and you try to lift the housing off of this, it's very difficult. If there can be a way with just magnets where it's very easy to just clip, that would be my one comment to change it. But if not, I understand. So one thing I do see that's a little different too, these really large PTC antennas on top. So those look like they're coming back. So beautiful Jersey Central. That Illinois terminal is just really pops. Getting a call, apologies. That one really pops. Before I go to the Union Pacific, I want to just go through all the NS ones. This Norfolk and Southern Lackawanna, that looks super similar to the post-war Lackawanna FM Trainmaster. That's a gorgeous locomotive, and these pilots are really cool. So I have one other comment for Lionel, and maybe hopefully they they've heard from like OGR, just different comments and stuff like that come out of quality control. If you have an SC70, you probably have seen certain brake hoses that break off the pilots, like either in transit or you pick it up out of the box. But then with one of their FMs that they came out with just recently, it's like a smaller FM. They changed the material, so it's more like a rubber material instead of this really hard plastic material that's on these pilots. That's another comment I would just recommend. So that way, we get our beautiful locomotives and there's no broken pieces or anything like that. And then this Erie locomotive that looks really beautiful as well. Oh, I like that I can actually do this. Okay, cool. We can actually really get into the details here. Wow, those are gorgeous. Okay, so okay, hold on. I might have missed this. Okay, so there are not that I'm seeing yet. So we are not seeing any no super bases. They are just powered and non-powered. And with that, you're going to see quite a big price difference. So 700 and then 350. So for twice as much, you get a powered, and then just cut that in half, you get a non-powered. So if you want these, my recommendation, because I've seen people that get all powered and they look beautiful. And I almost got all the powers for the Union Pacific Heritage. I almost did, but I was like, this is a lot of money for when it comes to diesels. You can get some powered and you can get some unpowered. So that way you're kind of, saving on some of the bank. And then my buddy Rich, he and Larry saw this locomotive, and I distinctly remember him talking about this one because the lightning bolt. That is a sharp looking locomotive. And that looks very similar to yeah, I have a post-war 2333 down there from Lionel, and that lightning bolt is just a sweet looking feature on these locomotives. So this is going to be that's a sweet locomotive. Oh, and I really like this feature too. Check this out. That this cool diagonal, I call it like a checker look. That's really sweet too. And then the yellow on the footsteps as well. Cool. All right, let's go to the Union Pacific. 8518. I'm wondering what is 8515 or 8518. Excuse me. Oh, with a new paint scheme. Okay. That, I guess, August of 2022, they came out with that. That is a sweet, cool, fresh look. So I just did like a quick search on YouTube. UP came out with this fresh look on this Union Pacific locomotive, and that's it. And it looks much different than any of the other ones that I have. That is a really cool looking locomotive. And let's see here at the yeah, so like they're getting that spot on, and then the flag's very, very similar. The one thing though that I've noticed, and maybe it's just because like weathering, with like locomotives that are in service versus like brand new painted, that yellow just pops. Like it just pops right off the screen. So that might be a contender just because it's a new locomotive. It's not new, but it's a new paint scheme locomotive. So that's really, really cool. All right. Continuing on. GP30s, Jeeps. Coming out with more Jeeps. And I like that one. The Santa Fe one looks sweet. All right. Let's see. 14 and 1/4 inches. 031. So great for smaller layouts, but also great for big ones. Maybe as like a yard, or if you want to do like, a smaller freight service operating within your layout, this is going to be a good one. All right. So let's see. We also seen some road specific detailing as well. So Alaska. So these ones are 600. Doesn't look like we get any super bases. It's either powered. No, excuse me. Hold on. No, these are all powered. So all of them are going to be powered. I got a couple of Conrail patched locomotives. So Dakman, you're going to have to kind of tell me what a patched locomotive is. That like what your meaning is, like brand new painted, or I mean, I'll be honest with you. You're gonna have to kind of explain like what the patch locomotive look is, just for me personally, but then also maybe for the audience, and then I'll highlight it out. Got a couple of patch locomotives. So going back with the Alaskan one, so we see I've seen this feature on Lionel. This rotating beacon, like this flash beacon, this is really cool. And actually, if you hold aux2, it brings on the cab 2 remote, it brings up all the light features. This is one that you'll be able to turn on and off. So this is actually really, really cool that they're doing this. And then all this, that is such a cool look. This striped tiger look. This looks insane. So you're getting two different ones. You're getting 2000 and then 2504. So that's a huge gap between like prototypical looking, well, not prototypical, they're all prototypical, but like road numbers, like matching ones. Look at the catalog and see the Reading and Penn Central. All right, let's see. Reading and Penn Central. Are we on going back or what? Reading and Penn Central. The GP30 is patched with the Conrail locomotive. Oh. Oh, hey, look at that. Yes. Yes. Patched locomotive. Patched locomotive. I see what you're talking about. So very similar to what Union Pacific did, where they patched look. Okay, got it now. Got it. Is that? It's. Oh, there he is. What's up, Nick? How are you doing, man? Look at you, man. Say hi to Lexi. Heck yeah. Welcome to the show, Nick. Welcome to the live video. It's Catalog Day. Happy Catalog Day. Awesome. Thanks for joining in. The Black CRGP is a patch Penn Central. Yeah, so um well, we'll just come right here. So what do you mean what Dagman's mentioning is on some locomotives that, I think Union Pacific does this sometimes. They'll sell a locomotive to another company or vice versa or something. And the company will then patch instead of like redoing the entire thing, they'll just patch it with like a black stripe and then just like write, in this situation, Conrail, or in the other situation, Union Pacific or Santa Fe or just whatever. So this is actually a really cool looking locomotive. Jackman, I'm wondering if you're going to actually pre-order this one too, because I know you're a Conrail guy, but this is your shirt and your shirts and your layout is just Conrail blue. But this is actually a really cool, you know, addition to the Conrail, spectrum. Nick, happy catalog day, man. Happy catalog day to everybody. Happy catalog day. So let's go back up. Oh, hold on. Dakman, I didn't even look at that one because I was so busy looking at these ones. You were right. There's two different ones. This is definitely Reading because I noticed this is kind of like that beeline look that I was looking at or looking for. That is a sick looking locomotive. So you have Conrail patch locomotives for Reading and then also for Penn Central. So these are sharp looking locomotives. So if you're a Conrail fan, those might be like a winner for you guys. Those are cool. Patch locomotives. That's so you learn something new every day. All right, now we get into Pennsylvania, and they have these really cool handrails up on top as well. These are really, really neat. And then coming down to Santa Fe. Now this Santa Fe locomotive is actually oh, the sweet 2502 guide on in the background. Yeah. Well, no, that one's not from 2502. That one's from when I was in XO. That one, hold on. That one is from 2502. That one's from when I was in XO. And then there's another one from when I was a commander. You have to come over to see all this kind of stuff. But yeah, good looking out. So this one for Santa Fe, the Santa Fe blue is really, really pretty. And I like these, like on all these Jeeps that they're coming out with, and then also STs. They have these like really cool drop plates that come out as well. Those I really like those features. So I don't really have smaller. No, I have a Jeep. I have a Jeep. This could be a really cool contender for with that, like as a pairing. Lionel already released a patch Conrail and ready caboose to match the locomotive. Okay, so Dagman, I guess you gotta. I guess you got to get that locomotive because if you have the caboose, you have to get the locomotive. That's pretty much like with my my heritage locomotives that I got for Union Pacific way back when they first released them. They came out with those matching cabooses, and I was, just on eBay like matching Union Pacific heritage caboose, and I had to get them. So I guess you're gonna have to get it. And then great explanation on patch locomotives. Nah, man, that's all you. You helped me with you helped me with that. And then Wisconsin and Central. That's a really cool looking locomotive too. Oh, so check this out, guys. Now we're getting into some road specific detailing. So obviously with Alaska, we have a cow catcher with a plow, or not a cow catcher, a pilot. And then now here for Wisconsin, because it's going to snow in Wisconsin, we have a plow for here as well. And going down, New York Central, that's just a really, slick looking New York Central locomotive. So overall, GP30s, these are really, really good locomotives. I got to say, I love the Santa Fe just because you guys know I'm already a Santa Fe, Southern Pacific, and Union Pacific kind of guy. But just like Dakman was mentioning, with these patch locomotives, those are pretty cool. And then, Lionel's doing a great job with his catalog, so great job. Oh, what? What? Blue bonnets. There we go. We got the yellow bonnet. We got a blue bonnet. Let's go. And those are sick looking blue bonnets. And those are different from the cat whiskers. So those look sweet. All right. Wow. F7 AA and Bs. And the B is a super bass. All right. All right. So let's see. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do some research really quick because I'm wondering if the ones that came out with the yellow bonnet, if those were also F7s. I can't remember. Lionel yellow bonnet. Yellow bonnet. Yes, so they were F7s. Okay, so we still have F7s, but if you're a Santa Fe guy, pretty much just reverse the colors. You had yellow bonnet, now you have blue bonnet. All right, sweet. So features, 2 powered A units. Great, you're going to have tons of power for your trains. Legacy Bluetooth control and smoke features, LED lighting, road-specific detailing, sound in the lead unit only, and hold on, wait a minute. We're not only just getting a super bass B, we're also getting a powered. So you can make an ABBA, and that is going to be a sweet looking consist. And in a future video, that week that I was in Tennessee, like just train friends, you're going to see Leap and Larry's and Johnny Dawson's yellow bonnets on a video. They are sweet looking locomotives. So with how theirs look, I guess those are probably going to be coming into the picture. All right, so let's get after it. All right, and then the super bass powered has the Bluetooth operating and fan driven smoke. Super bass non-powered legacy control, fan driven smoke, super bass sounds, and operating couplers. So we're good to go there. A GP30 and an F7 would equal a pretty cool lash up. I wonder if there's any prototypical pictures of those two doing it. Actually, so if you're a huge fan, like it doesn't matter like what railroad you're in. Like for me, I'm a Santa Fe guy. Love Santa Fe. Born in New Mexico, Albuquerque has a very special place in my heart, and I grew up on the Santa Fe. I have a rather large library of just Santa Fe because I want to learn. I want to see pictures that may not be on the internet, and you can only see those pictures through books. So when you see like GP30 with the Santa Fe F7s, that could have happened. But I need to look in my library and see if it did. So let's see. That's a cool comment though. That would be pretty sweet. That's pretty cool. So let's get after it. So Frisco, I'm not gonna lie, these kind of look like bumblebees a little bit. So the Frisco, we have this cool rotating beacon up here, this beautiful looking, this yellow stripe right here, and those do look black. So I am colorblind like a little bit, and these are really, hold on, those are interesting looking smokestacks. Look at those. These are really interesting looking smokestacks. And then I wonder if, also, if you have the F7s, you guys saw what Lionel did with all this great detail work on the trucks. Fantastic job on the trucks. Oh, okay. I'll be getting to something real quick in just a moment, but I have an AR comment for the Santa Fe's, and then so let's see, so 1200 for an AB or an AA set, 600 for a powered B, and then $550. So for $50, is it 50? Yeah, $50 more, you get the powered. $50 less, you get the super base. But again, if you wanted a monster set, an ABBA, in my opinion, I don't think there's any other way to get F7s or just any other, post-war looking diesel locomotives like Alcos, F3s, F7s, and they just look great with the matching B units. And you can always add and subtract B units as well. All right, so this is great. Look at that. Santa Fe Blue Bonnet. Wow, that is a gorgeous, gorgeous looking set. Holy cow. That is just a gorgeous looking locomotive. And it's different too because so Lionel or Santa Fe, they have some really interesting color schemes. They had, regular war bonnet, which we all know from Lionel is, when someone thinks of Lionel, they think of the Santa Fe F3s. They think of it right away. So these are going to be really interesting because we had the yellow bonnets. I'm wondering, and I'm really hoping because I do not have a war bonnet in my collection. I hope that someone does the war bonnet paint scheme in this because I've been kind of waiting for the war bonnets to come back. But blue bonnets are just as beautiful. And these were passenger trains too. Rio Grande would mix up locomotives like that all the time. GP3. Yeah, see, Dakman, it just depended on the situation. But even the Southern Pacific did some crazy things too. But yeah, just like you were mentioning, like Rio Grande putting if I'm a yard master or something like that and I needed that train to move and there was power, I just, hey, divert that power to that train, get it out of there or something like that. But yeah, I bet, Toby, there is a picture of that GP30 and the F7s rolling around. So one thing I did notice, is if you guys take a look right here, the diaphragms right here on the units are black. On these units, they're blue. So, I just ruined that. Okay, strike that, reverse it. I'm wondering if they're either going to repaint that silver or if it was prototypically blue. Because, white screen, hold on. Blinding everybody. I need to double check to see if the ends of these B units were blue or if they were actually silver and black. If they're silver and black, I think, in my opinion, I think Lionel should go back to the not the drawing boards, but just to ensure that it looks as prototypical as possible and correct it with the silver and black. Because on the yellow bonnets, you did see that there was a difference between the two colors, and like the ABBA were different. But still, that looks beautiful. Everyone, those are gorgeous locomotives. And then we're coming up to Burlington. So we've had 2 Burlington locomotives in this catalog. And if you guys see that, that is a cool looking antenna. That's no brake wheel. That's an antenna. That's really, really cool. And so here's one thing I'm questioning is if this is white or if this is going to be silver. Because I don't know. Hold on. Let's just Google it. Burlington CBNQ F7. Oh, they were white. And they were beautiful. Hey, Dakman and Toby, I'm actually looking up a picture of F7s with a GP locomotive. Actually, it was yeah, this is a locomotive just like you guys were mentioning where they paired 2 different locomotives together. And this is prototypically white. So these are beautiful locomotives too. And I really like this F7 little logo right here, and then also this I don't know if that's General Motors or if that's I don't know, but these cool like little logos that they're putting on the ends of these locomotives, those are really neat. Great job, Lionel. These are fantastic. Beautiful, beautiful car. Beautiful, beautiful locomotives. Okay, what are these? Boston and Maine. Boston and Maine blue. Those are really, they pop out of the screen. That is going to be a really, really cool set. And then this Rock Island. So Rock Island, they did the Rock Island Rocket, I think, in like the last catalog. It was like a set. This could be a really cool addition. And then also just these gigantic Rock Island. These locomotives are going to pop. So these ones are really, really cool. I wish on this one that you can actually just get both. Like I just click right there and it just pops up both. But no, these are beautiful locomotives. And it's still the same features as I already mentioned the other on the other pages. Okay. A Great Northern Empire builder. Wow. Wow. Holy cow, that's a large set. If you're a Great Northern fan out there and you're not buying anything yet, this might be your budget for all of 2023, unless you didn't get something in the volume 1, but this is a huge set. So let's dive into it. You get the AA set, both powered. Let's just say for fun, you get the powered B. On top of that, you get the unpowered super bass, so ABBA. You get a 21-inch Station Sounds diner car. You get this sweet looking full dome Vista Dome. Then you also get a 2-car pack and then a 4-car pack. And then one thing that Lionel is getting on this one, they're coming out with this one with an actual observation car. And it's not just like, a theater car or just a normal car like on the Hummingbird that I have. So that's going to be a really cool set and a very beautiful set, but quite expensive in my opinion. And then check this out. So we have snow plows on this one. And then these are grab irons right here. The horn is in a different spot. And then this radiator fan right here. Okay, so there's definitely some road specific detailing on these locomotives for sure. All right, let's continue. Great page. Great page. Oh, Alco S2. Whoa! Whoa! NASA? I'm going to have to call Brian at Legacy. NASA. Ooh. Maybe we might have to do a Space Force one. Space Force S2. Who knows? They're doing a NASA. We can do Space Force. All right. CERT. I have no idea what CERT means. If you guys know what CERT is, New York City. Post it in the chat, but that is a colorful locomotive. Let's just go back up, though. Fixed pilots, single motor driven, 031, 12 inches. So fixed pilots. So these are your switchers. On Larry's layout, he has the Ford switcher. They're slow, and if you crank it up to like 100, they're still slow. But remember, they're geared differently. These are just, they operate and they creep beautifully. But that was their job. They just creep, they pull. They're monster pullers, but they're slow. But they look good slow. So this is good. But you have your fixed pilots, and then you have all this great handrail detailing. I wonder if those are actual pop off for smoke. And let's see, you have your caps that are yellow, and then this cool red, white, and like light blue. And then you have your dark blue up here. ADM, so Archer Daniel Midland. That is, this, and now we're having a little bit different. Maybe not. No, these both look the same. So these are actually not bad too at 550. Canadian Pacific. Then we see Lehigh and New England 611. But it ain't an NW 611, but it's it's an S2 switcher. Maybe in the next catalog we'll see 611 come back. NASA number 2. That is a pretty sweet looking locomotive. I'm wondering if NASA actually has this in their fleet. Because I do know the Army has some locomotives. So maybe they might have this. But let's continue on. Or maybe not. Maybe it's a fantasy scheme. Who knows? This U.S. Army 7100. That is a pretty cool looking locomotive. And I can't remember what specific museum has another U.S. Army locomotive, but I don't know if it's 7100. But I don't know if the United States Army is actually operating this same paint scheme. From what I've seen on installations, they operate now with a red and yellow paint scheme. Let's see, Toby. The Lehigh Valley, New England 611 is currently in Allentown and Auburn Railroad in Pennsylvania under restoration for operation. Okay, so this one right here. See, again, like Lionel's doing great with their, hey, what's everyone restoring? Okay, cool. Let's try and put that in the catalog. So that's good. Good job, Lionel. But yeah, that's a really nice looking locomotive there too. So hey, switchers, great locomotives. They're slow, they creep, they sound great. Like with their quillable horns, they sound really good. If you like these and the fixed pilots, they're just great. If you want one, get them. They're great locomotives. Oh, oh, wow. Oh, this is a set. Lehigh George Scenic Legacy set. No kidding. So an SD50, 372-inch passenger cars, and a Northeast caboose. Working ditch lights, kinematic pilots, 85 inches. That's okay. So check this out, guys. We're getting different. We're getting different passenger cars than the 21 inches and the 18-inch heavyweights. So these are different ones. These are very similar to the Grand Canyon steam train that came out a couple years ago. So wow. And Lionel's doing more on their short lines. That's great. Okay. I wonder if that's a smoking caboose. Maybe it is. Maybe it's not. Oh, Reading. Oh, Reading and Northern. Does that? I wonder if that's on the in Blue Mountain Reading's roster. Is that Reading caboose? Because I think I saw on the Rambles he made a custom made caboose. How much are they? 1,200 for a set. That's not bad. And you get the locomotive, 3 cars, and you get the caboose. That's not bad at all. And then for 2-pack as well, you can get it for 530 or 430. Then that would be a pretty nice looking set. Oh, okay. Lionel, I'm tipping my hat off to you. Your guys are coming out with some amazing sets. Last catalog, there was the Big Boy Super Set, and then you had the Fast Fruit Express for the Santa Fe. You had the Rocket. You had that awesome I1 or L1 set. I forget like what it's called, but it came with like a Vision caboose. You guys are doing great when it comes to your guys' set designs. Great job. Keep up the great work. So Western Pacific are those F7s? Yeah, F7s. You get a Freight Sounds PS1 boxcar and a bay window caboose with this one. So this one has some really cool features. Gondola. So just like so Freight Sounds, that's great. This is a great Freight Sound boxcars or Freight Sound cars are just amazing. Gondola, flat car features, caboose features, overall length 70 inches, not bad. And what are they calling that set? The Feather River Legacy Freight Set. Okay, because that's beautiful. Also, if you're a post-war collector, you know about the Western Pacific, like the Feather. I think they call it like the Feather route. That's very similar and very post-war looking with this boxcar right here. And then this M1 Middle Division Manifest. So you get the monstrous looking like M1, and then you get these awesome cars. So let's see if this is a Freight Sounds. Yep. So you get a Freight Sounds boxcar. I think what have really have tipped it over the edge, like in the favor of like the buyer, is if that caboose would have been a Vision Line caboose, just like they did in like the I don't know if they called it the piggyback set. That's what the name keeps coming to my head. That would have just been insane for that caboose. Great job on these sets. Oh, wow. The American Orient Express. No way. Oh, wow. Guys and gals, this is a great looking set. Okay. I would recommend if you don't know what the American Orient Express, way back in the day, the History Channel had this great show called Trains Unlimited, and they had a special on the American Orient Express. And growing up in Albuquerque, this train came through Albuquerque once a month or something like that. And my grandmother and I, actually everyone in the family would know because in the Santa Fe, Albuquerque passenger area, you would see these gorgeous looking cars, and it would stop there to go up and see Albuquerque to go up to the Sandias to the tram. This is a beautiful set, and yeah, this is a gorgeous looking set, and I have a lot of ties with this whole set. So let's just get right after it. Wow, I'm kind of in shock and awe with this one personally, just because of how cool this one looks. So you get your Vista Dome, full dome. The Station Sounds Diner car is going to be fantastic. I bet you it's going to be. Ladies and gentlemen, the American Orient Express is now departing on track number 4 or something like that. Or maybe they might have like a cool sound like in a history of the American Orient Express. You get a 2-pack, 500 on there. And then what I'm really curious about is this 4-pack. Oof. Not $1,000 for a 4-pack. Okay, so 1,500, almost 2,000. So you're overlooking like around $2,000 for your entire set. But again, if you're getting a set and they're passenger cars, I think something that's non-negotiable when you're getting cars, you're getting your Station Sounds Diner car. Like that just makes the set. So even if you don't get the full dome car, which I'm gonna look it up really quick, and I don't know about ever seeing that car come through come through the cities. But that is just a gorgeous, gorgeous set. And I mean, like I said, this one has some pretty good significance with me. At least like, okay, I'm wrong. I'm looking at a picture, and that is definitely a full dome car. This is a pretty prototypical looking set. And Lionel, great job with these diaphragms right here. Fantastic. This is a winner. Ooh, okay. We're getting some interesting cars now. A training car. Okay. Passenger cars, Station Sounds Dome cars. So if you're an Amtrak, oh, Union Pacific, here we go. These are all new products too. So Amtrak, it's officially licensed Amtrak. Okay. This is phase 3 modern. I like how they have the dome is like a different color, so it's like that black. It's really makes it just pop. Southern. Oh wow. Made its way RPO car. That is pretty nice. Wait, but do these have sounds? No, okay, so all right. These are just regular cars. So this one is a Station Sounds dome car. These ones are just regular cars that you can add on your passenger cars. Okay, there we go. But they look like 21-inch passenger cars, but that looks pretty nice. And then the Southern RPO car too. So if you're a big fan of Union Pacific or Southern, and I know I have a lot of friends out there that love Amtrak, these are great cars. I'm actually really kind of interested to see what these are. All right, so these training cars would employ an army of workers across the point made to clear understanding with the common rule books and procedures. So get your pencils and rule books ready. Class is about to begin. Sign me up. Sign me up. I'll go to training. Training's great. All right. Let's see. So flicker free. Oh, so some of them don't have flicker free lighting, and some of them do. All right. So this one is actually really interesting. And I'm going to see. That's a prototypical car. And it looks like it was Lionel. I think the only thing that Lionel you're missing, apparently there was a like an antenna that was on the entire length of the car, but that is a really cool looking car. Really, really neat. And I'm wondering, is it a does it do anything? Like, does it have an for 500? I'm wondering if it's okay. Never mind. Oh, classroom dialogue when stopped. Okay, so that is really cool. Classroom dialogue. It's like we're going to school on the rails. This is sweet. Oh, these are really cool looking cars. Look at that. Look at this Rio Grande. I like how they put this is like a rolling classroom. This is great. This fire prevention. That is just awesome looking. Ooh, I might have to call Dr. Fisher and see if he wants that one. That one is a sweet looking car. New York Central and Pennsylvania. So Lionel coming out with these awesome training class cars, except for like, well, they're all training cars, but like these are 18-inch ones, and then these ones are this one's 21 inches. Those ones are sweet. These are great cars. Cool, Lionel. All right, so we got PS5 gondolas. I know that I'm gonna go a little bit faster because I think I have like about 8 minutes before I have to do like either a part two. So I'm gonna go like a little bit faster on these. These Area 51 covered hoppers, these are really, really neat. And then this graffiti colored one. I'm a really big fan of this one right here. What are they asking for that one? 134. Okay. Oh. Okay. Toby, you said that they were coming out with the PS1 Patriot cars. All right. So double sheath box cars. These ones are really, really nice. The Southern Pacific. That one's really, really neat. I think I might get one of those. If you're a Strasbourg fan, you're definitely going to get the Strasbourg one. For me as a Southern Pacific, and I'm trying to grow my freight fleet, I'm probably going to get one of these. Yeah, hey, Dak man, your video on Dr. Fisher's layout was amazing, and my great friend Leap and Larry, both of them are really great friends of mine, best friends in the hobby. His layout is a work of art, and yeah, I'm definitely going to call him after this and tell him about that school car because Jack he loves Milwaukee Road. So those are really beautiful. I want to get to these. So, oh, those are beautiful. Yeah, these are nice. Okay. So, for those who do not know, Lionel came out with these Patriot Sounds box cars in the last catalog with the Super Set. The last car in the consist, or maybe it's the first one, was this new product, this like Patriot Sound box car with these cool World War II posters on it. And Lionel's going to be doing these as like a set, or not like as a set, but as like a promotional item. These are a must, in my opinion. I think these are a must for me because I will have the superset one, and then these ones are going to be just great cars. And so sounds will automatically play. Okay, so based on the Department of Defense and Army, Navy, and Air Force decoration. So I'm wondering if the Department of Defense actually, slapped the table and said we're licensing these because if they did, then these are really cool and prototypical. So this one looks accurate with the transportation corps, branch insignia over here, and then this looks accurate. So that might be a contender as well. You have your navy gray. I don't know if that's like a battleship gray. United States Marine green, and then Air Force blue. I'll have to get with my father-in-law and see if that's like the actual. Well, this is also World War II, but these colors look the part, and they look accurate. Um, this one's a great page. I'm definitely gonna get those two for sure. Oh my gosh. And then I turn the page and then I see all the other ones. Oh my Lord. Oh, Lionel, why'd you do that? Oh man. Oh, but the 3 packs. Okay. Whew. I thought they were going to be each individual one. But these are not. Okay. So the last page were sound cars. These ones are just cars themselves. Okay. These are really cool though. Oh, those are really, really neat. So these are just PS1 box cars as 3 packs. Oh, rails, on rails, 2 ships to victory. Keep them rolling. In service of supply. Uh, that's cool. And then victory. That's neat. Oh, Lionel's doing like the greatest generation, like the World War II. Like that's great. Keep them rolling. Oh, these are gonna look fantastic. Oh, man, Lionel, you're doing great with these. These are gonna be great products. And then these composite. Oh, I wonder if those are gonna be die cast. So plastic body molded in detail. Okay, those are gonna be great too. I'm gonna kind of like speed through these ones because if I don't speed through, I'm gonna have to do part 2. But if I do a part 2, if you're watching, come back for part 2. It'll be real quick. So we have more PS2 CD covered hoppers. Oh, I know a couple of fans that are going to be really interested in the L&N, like, the family lines. These are really cool. Probably won't get any of these, just be honest with you guys. Nash, is that Westville? Okay, Wellsville, Addison and Gailton. Boston and Maine, Delaware and Hudson, Northern Pacific. Ooh, the Southern Pacific ones look so cool. Same thing with that UP one. And that looks like the blinded by the light. Okay, I'm not gonna move it. I'm not gonna move in. And that's the UP Overland logo. So that one looks really cool. All right, so this is interesting. These are actual O scale John Deere cars. So it's not traditional. These are actual O scale cars. This is really neat. Okay, Lionel, first off, great job with Volume 2 scale stuff. Fantastic. I think what we'll do is we'll stop here for when it comes to scale. So we'll do a part 2 in just a moment because I think with this application I'm using, I can only do 2 hours, which we've had a great long 2 hours, right? But we got to see some incredible things with scale, like with actual O scale. Now what we're going to jump back into is we're going to jump into traditional. And let's see what page I'm on. I'm on page 68, and how many pages? Okay, so we're not too far off. So the next one will be pages 60, 62 through 84. So not too many pages. But wait till the very end of the catalog. Oh, Toby, I guess you're just gonna. So for everyone, tune into part 2. What we're gonna go through next is traditional O scale. All right. Thank you guys so much for part 1. I hope you guys had a great catalog day, and just thank you so much for being with me here and just loving the hobby. Have a happy catalog day. Make sure to put your pre-orders in through your dealers and keep promoting this hobby. It's a great hobby that we're in. And join for part 2 right in a couple minutes. All right. Bye, everyone.